ideas to design your perfect kitchen online at thegoodguys.com.au.
Sunny and 28 today, fine and 30 tomorrow, partly cloudy Sunday, 29. The cloudy conditions continuing on Monday and Tuesday, tops of 28 and 31. Right now it's 14 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
This is 5AA Breakfast, thanks to Jeep. When it comes to superior performance, luxury and attention to detail, the Jeep Grand Cherokee has it all.
6:36, good morning everyone. Questions about the current practice of cancelling passports for Australian citizens. Pembo has his view later in this half hour.
Well, time now to head across the ditch to New Zealand to Selwyn Manning, who is the editor of EveningReport.nz. Selwyn, looks like New Zealand's in for a bit of a rough weekend.
Yeah, absolutely, Jane. There's a Cyclone Pam. It is tracking down from Vanuatu around the Fiji area, tracking south-east, coming down toward New Zealand. Now, the weather people here, that's weatherwatch.co.nz and the Metservice here in New Zealand, they have put out storm warnings of real significance, Jane. It's they're saying that this storm has got the potential to be a 1 in 30-year storm, and that's got people thinking back here in New Zealand to Cyclone Bowler that absolutely bowled in the 1980s and destroyed much of the eastern Cape of the North Island. Jane, the warnings are to the people in New Zealand to basically the same kind of things as the warnings that would go to the people in, particularly in the more tropical parts of Australia. Batten down, clean your gutters, clean up so that there's nothing that can fly around. They're saying that out in the Pacific right as we speak that it's now upgraded to Category 5, that it's a superstorm, and that the power of the winds around the fringe of it are getting up to over 200 kilometres per hour.
When do you actually expect to feel the effect of the cyclone there in New Zealand?
I'm told that at the top of the North Island, the wind is starting to buffet now and do strange things, and they're saying that that's the beginning of it. They're saying that the New Zealand could be lucky if, the cooler waters around New Zealand, that may take some of the power out of the storm as it approaches. It'll be Sunday to Monday when it hits in a big way. They're saying that it looks like on the current trajectory, it will cut down the East Cape, toward the East Cape of the North Island. So that's right down the Pacific side of the North Island of New Zealand. If it does that, they're expecting huge gale force winds coming from it, obviously. Heavy rain, which will cause problems with flooding, but also surges in the sea and the swell coming in from the ocean. And some of those low-lying areas, particularly around the Hawke's Bay area, are susceptible to huge erosion already, and so there will be concerns there. Also, that is the wine-growing area of the North Island from Gasbourne down to the Hawke's Bay area, and so there are concerns there for the late harvest crops, the grapes, obviously, and also stone fruit, Jane.
Yeah, well, hopefully there's no damage to property and no, more importantly, no loss of life, Selwyn. Hey, mate, on a much lighter note, there's been a quite a nice little win for people power this week with a 500-year-old native Kauri tree being saved from chop down.
Yes, that's right. Absolutely. This became huge news over here, Dave. Like you said, 500-year-old Kauri tree. Now, the official name for it is Agathis australis. And it's got its cousins basically on your side of the ditch, and it's an amazing tree here. And I'm told, I'm told that back at the turn of the century, in the turn of the the beginning of the 20th century, that there was much of the houses in Melbourne and some in Sydney were made from Kauri wood, so it was exported from New Zealand over to you guys. So there's a bit of a connection there. But the people power, the developers had decided, and it was a husband and wife development team, that they bought this section, had this section, and there were two significant Kauri on there, but one 500-year-old one, and they wanted to bowl them down to actually build 2 home units on it. And the government had recently changed the laws, slightly changed the laws here to make it easier for developers to bowl down ancient trees and things like this. But the people power, they got around this issue. We had a guy, he abseiled up the tree, up the top, made himself a bit of a hammock there, got a bit more comfy, and he roped himself in, and he wouldn't come down, and then his supporters stormed on the place. We even had the United Nations Development Program boss and former New Zealand Prime Minister Helen Clark wading in saying that the tree must stay. In the end, the developers, they just said, we've had enough. We're not going to cut the tree down. But now they're looking for a win too, and they're going for compensation, Dave.
Oh, boy. Hey, Selwyn, thank you.
Okay, mate.
Good to talk to you. Thank you, Selwyn Manning from across in New Zealand, and that website that he is the editor of is EveningReport.nz. Hey, time to check out any issues going on in your suburb. Senior Constable John Roach from Police Media joins us.